Hello everyone. So today we have the Apache RTR 164V, not one but two, and a big shout out to Sundar TVS Jabalpur for making this video happen. So today we will be reviewing this bike and I will be answering a question that a lot of you have been asking me, and that is this bike or the UG5 from Bajaj or NS 160. So today I will be answering that. So let's start. So from the showroom I came riding on the red one and now I will go on the blue one. So that is just awesome. This bike comes with three variants. One is only front disc, second is front and rear disc, and one is the FI model, fuel injected one. Today we have the both bikes are only front disc because this one is the closest competitor to the NS 160, and if we talk price wise, this one is for 96,000 on road here in Jabalpur, only the front disc one. And if we take it to the dual disc, it comes around 1 lakh, and then the FI one will add nearly 12 to 13,000 more. So I think this one is the best equipped, and if you want to go more you can opt for the rear disc one. So it's a bit windy today, so I will be telling you everything about this bike while standing here because I don't want to get my video ruined just because of that wind noise. Let's start talking about this bike. So the very first thing that I want to tell you about is the engine, and this thing is really good. It has a very linear power delivery and there are no vibrations at all. The engine is really refined and has a lot of power and torque. In this segment I think it has the most amount of power, so a really good engine. The next thing I want to tell you about is the seating position of this bike. It is a little forward bias, but it is not at all uncomfortable, and it will really help you while sporty riding, considering this has a sporty DNA inside it. So the seating position is a little sporty. The next thing is the gearbox. The gearbox on this thing is really good. It is really direct, really precise, and is light to use. So you don't need to apply a lot of pressure while shifting. It is really light, and doing rev matching and clutchless shifting on this thing is really easy. So if you want to get into all those things, you can buy this bike. It is really easy to learn those things on this bike because of this gearbox. Awesome gearbox. The next thing that really complements the sporty character of this bike is the suspension. The suspension setup on this bike is on the harder side. So when you will ride this bike on the bad sections of the road, it won't absorb that much bumps and everything will get transmitted to you. So you will not be very comfortable. But this suspension setup really shines when you take this bike on twisty roads. There it really performs. And the suspension setup helps the bike while cornering also. So when you go into a corner, because of the suspension setup, when you go into a corner, this bike really holds the line. When you dip it in a corner, the bike really holds the line, and it becomes really easy to make this bike go fast around corners because of its amazing handling and this suspension setup. So while cornering, the bike stays really planted and gives you a lot of confidence while cornering. This bike really shows the TVS racing and the racing DNA that TVS has, and this bike has it all. So whenever you will take this bike on the twisties, you will really love it, but not so good for the bad sections. Now let's talk about the brakes. So the one that I have right now is the drum one. So the rear brake, considering it is a drum, is good, but the thing that I don't like is the front brakes. It does not give you bite or feedback. Both are missing, and there is no sense of communication from the brakes to the rider. So when you apply the brakes, you feel like nothing is happening. So that is a thing that I don't like on this bike. Maneuvering this bike is really easy. It flicks around really easily, and dipping it in the corner is really easy also. Because of this handlebar, it really complements the sporty character of this bike. Now let's talk about the design. The design of this bike really flows. Like you won't feel that the front end is from a different bike, the rear is from a different bike. No, it feels like this design was made for this particular bike, and it really flows and comes together really well. So I really like the design on this thing. Another thing that I really like is the instrument cluster on this thing. On the 200 also, on this also, I really like it because reading this thing, reading the digits and everything on this thing is really easy. You don't need to pay a lot of attention while riding to see what all is going on here. just a glance and you will see everything. The build quality and everything feels top notch. The switchgear and everything is of really nice quality, and the overall build of this bike is really good. Feels really upmarket. The grip from the tires while cornering was good, but as soon as you take it further and further, this starts slipping a bit. You can change the tires after buying this bike. Considering this is a 160cc bike, the tires are good. That is not a bad point for me. This bike also comes with LED DRLs, which look really nice. Now let's talk about the best thing that I love on every TVS bike. That is the exhaust note. So let's hear it. Let me put it in neutral first. So let's hear the exhaust note on this thing. So the exhaust note is really bassy and really enhances the sporty character of this bike. Now talking about the pillion comfort on this thing, it will be good considering this is a flat seat. So pillion comfort is really good, and also you get these good grab handles. So now let's talk about the biggest question that comes in everyone's mind while considering bikes in this segment. That is, should I go for the 160 RTR 4V or the UG5 from Bajaj or the NS 160? So let's get one thing really clear, and that is this bike does not compete with the UG5, because UG5 is more comfort oriented bike. This is not. This is more on the sportier side. So if you want a more comfort oriented bike, a plusher ride, because that thing has really soft suspension setup, and on bad section it just like flies over everything. So if you want a really comfortable ride, you are not looking for that sporty character, go for the UG5. Now talking about the NS 160 and this one, I will say I will prefer this one over the NS 160, because if you see my review about the NS 160, I told you that the brakes were also not that good on that bike. On this bike it is better, and if you see my review, I told you that bike really feels numb, does not give you a lot of confidence, does not communicate with you that much. And if you are looking for a sporty bike, you need that communication with you and your bike. If you are looking for a sporty bike, I will say go with the TVS RTR 164V. So that's it guys. Hope you people like this video. Do give this video a like, and also subscribe if you haven't till now, and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss any video. And comment down below what you think about this bike, and will you prefer this one or the other two. Thanks for watching guys. See you in the next video. Bye.